You envision your dream where you want to be, and then your subconscious will take over. If you really put the effort, your subconscious will do the rest. Always look up to meet new friends. You know, I mean, if you find somebody that's had a successful business for 20 years, you like that business, find 3 other guys like him, and now you got 60 years worth of experience and you're still in your 20s. I love challenging myself, so make sure you challenge yourself. Always have goals bigger than your dreams, but also be practical with your short-term goals.
Top 10, I got a top 10. Got my motivation high for my top 10. Gotta learn from the wise women and men. All my life, like 9 to 9. For my top 10, top 10, 9 to 9. This one's for my top 10.
Need motivation?
Watch Top 10 with Believe Nation.
Hey, it's Carmichael, and this channel was created to help you overcome the #1 challenge that is holding you back, a lack of belief in yourself. You watch these videos because you know there's something more inside you too. You have Michael Jordan level talent at something. So get ready to envision your dream, challenge yourself, and be humble with Manny Khoshbin and my take on his top 10 rules to success to give you the confidence, motivation, and belief that you need. Enjoy. Okay, let's kick it off with rule #1. Envision your dream.
I always knew like anything I'm doing early on is a stepping stone. You know, with that mentality, I had a much bigger picture in my mind. You know, I wanted to be a multimillionaire. I wanted to own a bunch of exotic cars, a big mansion. As a matter of fact, at age 15 or 16, I have to go find a picture. I drew a mansion with some palm trees in front of it and 2 Mercedes. Back then, I didn't know what the Ferrari is or Lamborghini.
Yeah.
I knew Mercedes, right?
Yeah.
So I drew 2 convertible Mercedes with palm trees, and I have to find that. It's somewhere in my attic, probably.
That is unbelievable.
But so, you know, you envision your dream where you want to be, and then your subconscious will take over. If you really put the effort, your subconscious will do the rest.
It will figure out the how.
Yeah, it's kind of like pouring water on top of the mountain. It'll find a way to get down, right? It may go straight, it may go turn left.
But you got to pour the water.
You got to pour the water.
And most people don't, huh?
And to pour the water, you got to climb the mountain.
Rule #2, challenge yourself.
We both started hustling as entrepreneurs or trying to do something very young. And there's this thing on social media today. It's like, hey, don't worry about your 20s or your teens. You know, you'll get around to it. And you may need to have patience those years, but you should be after it. Don't you agree with that?
100%. 100%. I think, you know, what builds you, your mentality, your mindset, when you do that in your early teens or 20s, is a lot different than when you're 40 and 50 trying to do that. It's very, what do they call it? It's very tough to teach a dog new habits.
Yeah, right, an old dog, new tricks.
Yeah,
yes.
New tricks. So because, you know, your mentality is built, developed, and then it's very difficult to change that at age 40, 50.
It is.
So it's very important early on, you know, to try to challenge yourself. You know, be like a sponge, you know, always look up to meet new friends. You know, I mean, if you find somebody that's had a successful business for 20 years, you like that business, find 3 other guys like him, and now you got 60 years worth of experience and you're still in your 20s.
Rule #3, be humble.
As we become successful, you know, some jobs now all of a sudden are beneath us. You know what I mean? And that's never been you.
No, and it shouldn't be for anybody that wants to be an entrepreneur, a business owner. You gotta do everything from, you know, first of all, you gain the respect of all your employees.
Yes, 100%.
Right?
100%.
They see the boss is doing, you know, anything in the company, right? And then second of all, it keeps you humble, because, you know, the worst thing you want to get is become egotistic to a point where your ego takes the best of you.
So true.
And I've seen so many people fail.
So true.
Because they become so big, and then all of a sudden they think they're too big to fail, this, that, and then next thing you know, things change, and then they're stuck into that.
So true.
Yeah.
Rule #4, write your goals.
And your goal the whole time is like millions. I got to become a millionaire.
Oh yeah,
From day one.
That mansion, palm trees, and those convertible cars.
That's wow. And
always been.
Would you say your home now is very similar to what you drew back then?
Very much. I have 11 palm trees in the house. King palm trees. It's double lot, huge curb appeal. And when you park those cars in front, it's just like that picture.
I love that.
Yeah.
Then let me ask you this. Were you writing down affirmations? I mean, were you visualizing yourself? Were you writing down the goals? I mean, what did you do to ingrain it? Or was it just a mental thing that you
It was all mental. I mean, although, you know, the past 10 years, I've been writing my goals every day, you know, daily, weekly, monthly, yearly. My goals, I actually have a spreadsheet I made 25 years ago of how much I'm going to be worth by the time I'm 67. I put all these numbers in there. You know, if I make 10% a year, but this one house I have, I sell it, I buy 2 houses, and I use this formula, and it was really interesting. It's called the aftermath. And then there's another one, it's called actual aftermath. And I haven't done it for a few years, but for every year on January, I used to compare my actual aftermath with the aftermath I did many years ago to see if I'm on the right track.
Wow, yeah. That's incredible.
So, you know, you have to keep your mind to stay on the right path. You have to constantly write your goals. You have to have some kind of, you know,
guide,
parameter
GPS.
guide. Exactly, yeah.
Also, if you want to have more motivation, self-love, and confidence, check out my 254 series. They're free. The links to join are in the description below.
You got to separate the vehicle from the outcome. What is it that's going to truly fulfill you? What is it that's going to give you that extraordinary life?
In a success world, please understand that success is happiness, not net dollars in.
You really have to believe the internet's going to be mainstream. A lot of people are going to get out there and use it.
Rule number 5, hustle.
You started the hustle at about 16, did you not? How old were you?
About 14.
14. We'll go back. So what were you doing at 14?
So we moved to the 2-bedroom apartment, and then every time I took the trash out, I realized people leave stuff by the trash can. I'm like, why is this thing next to a dumpster? You know, it's a nice chair and a table or a toaster. So I figured, hey, they probably bought a new one. They don't want it. So I would, you know, haul those back to my patio, you know?
You're kidding me.
No. And then by the weekend, we've had a full patio worth of furniture, and we got Swap Meet. We rented a space at Swap Meet across the street, which was Orange Coast College. And we started with 1 space, and then it turned out to be 3 spaces. I expanded my business. You know, I was 14.
At 14?
Yeah. So I used to get up early in the morning, like 4 in the morning, and go to all the, you know, dumpsters and pick up stuff. You know, I started with my own apartment complex where we used to rent.
Yeah.
And then I realized, hey, why don't we go, you know, over there, walk over to the next complex. And then, hey, I was making, you know, $1,000 a month at 14 to 16 because I didn't have a work permit yet. So that was my first business, you know, it's cost of goods is free, right? So you pick up stuff and then sell at Swap Meet. The space, I think, was $10 a space to rent, so it's nothing.
Rule number 6, never give up.
While I was trying to sell my supermarket, because everybody told me file bankruptcy, you're losing your ass every month, and you've borrowed money. I had borrowed money from family, friends, my credit cards, 180 grand on my credit cards, paying 22% interest rate. Yeah, I was paying $4,000 a month interest, give or take, per month. And I didn't have money. I was just borrowing to just keep it, you know, stay alive.
Going,
yeah. Everybody says, file bankruptcy, you rebuild your credit within 3 to 5 years. I'm like, no, this country is built on credit.
Yeah.
You know, I learned early on, you know, that, you know, if you learn the system, use the system, and it's all credit based, you know. And it's all about, you know, using your credit to leverage, you know, business opportunities. So if I file bankruptcy, I'm dead for 7 years, you know, and and on top of that, you know, it's a failure, you know, I can't accept failure, you know. It's okay to, you know, close a business and go on a better opportunity. To me, that's not a failure. But to give up,
you know, for like 7 years, basically, you know what I mean?
Yeah, it's basically like death, you know.
Rule number 7, look for opportunities.
So I was always looking at the newspaper, looking for opportunities. And I came across this ad, is Worldwide Industries, it was the name of the WWI. And it said, earn $1,000 a week. I'm like, wow, that's, you know, a lot more than I'm making. And I called them up. They said, yeah, it's a multi-level marketing. We sell knife sets, nuts, this, that. So I went for an interview. They hired me. And I worked there for 3 years selling nuts.
How old were you at that time?
I was 17 and a half.
So 17 to age 20?
Yeah, I worked for Kmart for 1.5 years, and then I went to WWI selling nuts. After 3 months, I was their top salesman.
Really?
Yeah.
What was your strategy?
A strategy? Nothing. I was friendly with everybody, you know.
So you would knock on doors, or what was?
It was businesses. So we would take a basket of nuts and go to like auto dealerships, and you got all these secretaries sitting around, salespeople. They got nothing to do. They're waiting for customers to come in so they can you know, pound on it. So they love jelly beans, toffees, jujubes, pistachios, cashews, you know, almonds.
To kill time, kind of.
Yeah, you know, everybody likes that. So I would walk in there and say, hey, I got these fresh, nuts, and chit chat with them. Hey, have you tried these? I'll make you a deal. If you buy 3, I'll give it to you for $10. They're usually $5 each. So I give you $5 off. And then I would, people would gather, as soon as I walk in, they'll check, hey, what do you have? Yeah, I'll take 3 of this. Or next time I sell $150, in 10 minutes. Walk out until the general manager would show up. It was rough though. One time I was at, I think it was Pomona Auto Center. It was at a Toyota dealership, if I'm not mistaken. The GM was a real asshole. He knew every week I come, and then he caught me right when I walked in front of everybody, and he chewed my butt. Get out of there, you camera rider, you.
No way.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, back then, discrimination was obviously much more than now. But so after 3 months, I was top salesman. I was making like, $2,000 or $3,000 a month. And I went to Costco with my dad to do some grocery shopping. And then while I was passing by, I saw the nut aisle. I'm like, hey, I did quick math. I'm like, they're selling 5 pounds of pistachio for, $5, and WWI is selling it to me for $10, So I'm like, that's double the cost. So I said, why don't I buy it myself? I already have all my routes and customers,
And make a bigger profit,
Yeah. So I looked into Yellow Pages looking for polyester bags and a sealer. So I found it, I bought it, I think I spent $180 on, the sealant and some polyester bags, and then I used my dad's PC to print the labels, and I started my own business. I was 18.
Rule number 8, work out.
If you see self-improvements, not even just with cars, with your own body, when you go work out, do you feel better when you come out of the gym all pumped up? Or you feel better when you haven't worked out for a month? Of course, when you go to the gym, you're building your, something happens when you see changes in your body with your assets, when you see even gaining a good friend. I have my down days, I'm sure you do too. We're all human, You could have all the money in the world, you're still gonna have a bad day,
absolutely.
You don't know what's gonna cause it, but you do. And for me, working out is great. I have a personal trainer 3 times a week. And then when I don't have my personal trainer, I just get out of bed and drop on the floor and do 20 push-ups, 30 push-ups. I do it until I can't do it anymore. And then I hit the shower and I feel great, And it's, it's just keeping the fluids going, your mind fresh. Because workout not just improves your physics, it also helps your mind.
Agreed.
And sometimes it helps your mentality more than your physique, but people don't realize it, It helps you focus.
Rule number 9, take losses as a lesson.
You started off with a car. Your family had nothing when it came to this country. Nothing. And so you must have made some mistakes along the way. How'd you deal with everything that has happened?
Well, of course I made mistakes. I mean, I'm human. I trusted people too easily. I got conned. At age 20, I lost all my life saving to a con artist that promised me to buy me a gas station. But through it all, as when it comes to friends and colleagues, you have to take it as a lesson and move on. You can't let that bury you. You have to move on, and as far as ventures, I've learned to diversify and not have all your eggs in one basket. It's been great, but it was hard. It's been hard, and it wasn't easy getting here. The first 20 years, I would say, it was like hell.
And rule number 10, the last one before a very special bonus clip, is be productive.
I love life. Life is great. I love challenging myself. So make sure you challenge yourself. Always have goals bigger than your dreams, but also be practical with your short-term goals. So challenge yourself, get out of bed and do something productive. Even if you're not making money, it's a habit that most successful people carry. They're productive. Doesn't matter if you make money or not. You're productive, you have a purpose when you get up every day.
Now I have a special bonus clip from Manny on how to take calculated risks that I think you're gonna enjoy. But before that, it's time for the 3-point landing questions. Let's go from just watching a video to taking action. Here we go. Question number 1, where do you need to be more productive? Number 2, what lesson can you learn from a recent loss? And number 3, how can you challenge yourself this week? And if you made it this far in the video, I wanna celebrate you. Give me a hashtag believe down in the comments as well.
In life, I believe that if you're not willing to take a risk, you won't go anywhere.
You want to get the reward.
You don't want to take stupid risk. You don't want to throw your money at a stupid thing. But stock market is a pretty most of the time, the trend is up.
Yeah,
right?
trend is up.
So is real estate over time.
Yeah.
If you're patient. So rather than you're like, oh my God, let me go pay this. You took that money and invested it, and you nearly tripled your money.
Yeah. Well, I did my research too. I didn't jump in there. I started investing in February, March of 1999. So I waited 2-3 months. I logged into my AOL and I started reading about AOL, E-Trade, CMGI, Brocade Communication, all these companies that were splitting every quarter on earning announcements, So I watched my other friends that are also making a lot of money trading stocks. So I was very cautious. I took calculated risk. And then when it became too good to be true, I cashed out, which was September. All my friends says, you're crazy. You're going to make millions. If you just keep your money in there, they're splitting 3-4-1 every earning. I'm like, dude, I just came from a 2-year beat down. And I got 700 grand. I left 80 grand in there. I took 600 some thousand out. I went up, called Mr. Williams, my landlord, and I said, I'm ready.
If you want to see Dan Pena's top 10 rules, check out the video right there next to me. I think you'll enjoy it. Continue to believe, and I'll see you there.
You can't hit a home run unless you're in the batter's box and you swing away, right? Actions have consequences. There is no work-life balance.